Good morning, guys. Friday, 2/2 of 24. We got yet another live trade gap and go setup here. So we're reaching some extension points up here on SPY. We are gapped up. Got the double gap scam now from earnings push up. But what we see now again is typical ES left open gap play. We've had about 3 of these throughout the week. All you got to do is find the 1 minute gaps and the algos will come down and find these. Now we took just a couple ESs. We're positioned at 2 across all 6 accounts. As far as ES goes, again, we're minus 1250 at the moment. And we're looking for the walk down here, back down to POC and gap fills. So if I go to ES, you can see on the 1 minute chart, as I posted on X and for the chat, we have one right near 495876. That's our first one. Let's get a draw tool, make it a little easier for us to see. Gap number 1, gap number 2, and even a sneaky gap number 3. Now we've had a run up here 6 a.m. Central the last couple days, and it's left 1 minute gaps on the way up needing backtest. So what we do is assume that all 1 minute gaps fill on intraday and ES. So these are called free trades. We've had about 3 days worth of these, which are pretty cool. But right now we're just starting to get back into the green of greens here. I guess we could look at it on here as well. We don't need to kind of keep it down, but yeah, gap number 1's 495875. Gap number 2 down here at 4955. This is where my 2 orders are to cover the 2 ES. And that'll be approximately 8-9 points. And that'll be right where we need to be for the max trade again for the PA accounts. So there should be another $6,000 plus trade here. So looking for about $1,000 across all accounts. And now we're hanging out. So, yeah, these are kind of long-weighted videos, but last 10 SMA loop we had did a little bit of a push, so you can see we had 1 loop right here, and then usually comes back down for moving average test right here, 200 and 666, mounts the 50 and has an extension in price action up. You find that extension and watch for that exhaustion pending, let's say, RSI and MAC having a little bit of an overbought territory. Then you start shorting into the tops of these gaps. You don't want to do them right away. You want to wait till an extension point like we have the last couple trade days. And that's what we usually get. So we could size up a little bit and only go for gap number 2. But yeah, we'll see. This is a pretty slow trade. Especially on a Friday. So 3 different gaps. We have 2 ES contracts. Our average is right here at the blue line. So let's watch this play out. If we do get a loop and a pop back up, I'll probably add to it, which means we loop the 10 SMA down, comes back up for that lower high confirmational somewhere around the entry point, and then starts to bust to that backside, then gap number 1. So another option for this live trade would be to get our short here, let it fill gap number 1, do the pop, see how far it comes, short that confirmational lower high. That's giving us confirmation. Make sure there's no guessing in this, and that will give us a gap 2 and then potential gap 3 fill off of shorting lower highs on the way back down. So this one might be a little bit longer to let it play out, but we'll let her play out here and see which way we go. So right now looking a little heavy, looking pretty good. So nice, slow and easy roll down here. Yeah, gap number one will be right here as it comes into that 100 EMA. That'll be the easier one here. We should get a speed up tumble here. And my target's just for gap number two. Could go a little further, but again, I'll probably pick up another ES on the bounce back and lower high conformationals, whether that be generally double top area at the worst case scenario, which usually doesn't happen unless we get some kind of news piece. We don't have anything going on until 7:30. We have an hour of candles. We have 60 minutes worth of 1 minute candles to the downside here potentially. So that's what we'll be looking for. See, this is what we're talking about here. Comes back down to higher low on RSI. Jams back up a little bit. This is where you could easily better your average or wait till it goes above the 10 SMA a little bit more. Start shooting down. You could be more aggressive with your first target here in the gap. This one, because it's so close. This one's actually pretty close too, but under all major moving averages. So you could get pretty aggressive and keep adding to these for the near-term gaps if you don't want to wait for the longevity. Because again, very similar to yesterday's gaps under us, this could pertain to waiting till data. And again, we try not to trade through data, especially not positioned heavy by any means. Try to let that go through and do its thing. Oh. I was hoping to get a little bit more of a pop to that. So again, we broke that 10 SMA, came back up to the 10 SMA for the loop. We could have a chance at extension now, but maybe one more little pop here. We'll see. It would be ideal to get another pop. I could actually get like 4 contracts, 5 contracts then, and we could knock out like a 49.6250 down to a 49.
Order filled.
850. Sorry, let me turn that down. Last time this is super loud. So it filled that upside contract there. So we got 3. So about $150 a point per green side. So now we're going to watch this play out. Lower high conformational, or again, worst case, double top and a little bit of mess around up here where I can add into, and then we'll get a good straight shot to target 1, target 2, and our target 3 is a little bit farther there. So let's just watch this puppy play out. All right, guys. We're still trading the same old trade. Added 2 contracts to the lower high. Just wanted to speed it up a little bit and cut through the BS wait time. So you can see we're up to -4 contracts now instead of the -2. You've seen us fill that third one. Wanted to get the lower high confirmation so we can start to slip to gap 1. If we get one more little speed up, I might grab one more. That'll be 5 contracts, and then we get the 4.5 points downside. That'll guarantee my close to 930. I don't like to go over that 30% rule, but get close to that. But I thought we were going to get a little speed there, but now we'll sit here and wait. If the wait gets too long, we'll cut her back up, but our targets still stay the same. Awesome. This is actually really good. Get this back up here. Right back to entry. Because we got another low break right here, which is good on the minute. Broke a little bit of the structure of the 50 as well, which is good. The 5 minute should have plenty of room to the downside here. We have a nice fat lower high from yesterday's highs burns there. Got some good selling action. We should have room down to 4958.37. Looking at TOS, we use the volume area highs here as well to watch these. So again, as long as we're rejecting yesterday's highs, we're waiting for that to play out. Getting this triple backside, hopefully. This is our 3rd time up near here. So once we flop, we should either get an extension, fake out pop, pops out the weak hands, gets the little paper hand kids out when it pops back up. And then if we get a little pop, I'll probably add to that. And then, of course, extension to that downside. We're going to look for volume area highs, and POC all the way down to 49.55 should be the easy one, but we'll see how it all goes. I like that we're popping back up here a little bit after a fresh low break, then we can get the exhaustion. So this is the last trap that's usually set for the longs. It works out rather well. We got some other fishing orders up there, you see, in case we get one of those exhaustion pops, we could fill up into 49.66 as well. Really hard to use Trader 8 to get those orders out there unless you're using the DOM. So generally speaking, we never get loops either double. So you notice like we'll get a very clean like this 10 SMA loop. Price action will smooth right through, recover. We don't chop the 10 SMA and then go unless we get some form of crazy manipulation and garbage action. But again, we have 60 sub bid. It's still, oh, not anymore, 45. We got 645, 15, yeah. About 45 to do so. So let her figure out the top here. All right, we'll give it some time. We'll cut this recording. We'll smidge it back to the next one when we get more downside. All right, guys, as you see, I've just been holding through the chop. I did have orders set above for those extra fills. I moved those down, got those to fill. Now we're sitting at average yet again. The only bad part about scams like this is where the market just manipulates and just holds and holds and holds. This is an absolute scam. You can see where we can pull in the VIX for hours now from 3, 4, 5 has a perfect MAC uptrend. Dollar, same thing since 4 a.m., 5, 6, 7, 3 hours of uptrend. And the market's just been holding up, up, up. Now, again, it doesn't mean it's not going to break down, but one of the things we have to remember is it's going to take time and it's going to scam the people that are trying to play the good algo trend, right? So it's going to pop up, do a fresh high, right? And that's why I had orders sitting up here as well. Then it's going to turn back around and just start plummeting down prior to data. And we needed this move to come in before data, right? So I sized up a little bit more. We're up to 6 contracts now. So even getting down to the first gap or second gap before data would be ideal. But if it does not start to gap fill and come back down here and it just manipulates, we're going to have to wait till data and we're not going to trade through that. So we'll take a really tiny green somewhere in the profit here. If not, it should just start walking itself down to at least target 2 before data. And that's my final target. But right now, again, we can only make $930 some in account. So we're going to sit back, watch the rest of this play, kind of manifesto as I added into a couple up there, and we should start to get the breaks here. And kind of clean set, but that was the last little scam there. It had to push out because the market loves fresh stops, right? So if you were short and for whatever reason you would only put your stop at like a high tag, like just a little tick over the highs and not wait for an actual trend, you're going to get stopped out all the time. Same thing for fresh low reversals. It loves doing that out of consolidation. So you can see like a consolidation here. It'd be very long bias. It's got a really good grind. Then it snaps down, stops all the longs, then flies out. Well, if you turn that inverse, it does the same thing on the short side all the time. That's why I use a system called hard open close candles. So I would need a whole 5-minute candle to open above the already high. So I would need a 5-minute candle developed above the prior high for me to be stopped out of this. So yeah, so just tipping into highs like this, just barely getting past there, getting stopped out. It's frustrating. So it's one thing that a lot of newer traders will unfortunately deal with. But as this thing comes back down, maybe we go for only gap number 1 and see if we can leave a little bit on for gap number 2. That's fine. But right now, we'll see. We're getting pretty scammed right now because we have all bear indicators are absolutely perfect for downside metric. For hours now, and the market just held for hours. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. just went up and just consolidated perfectly. So we are getting scammed pretty good by the market. And you can see another big scam here in ES on the 5-minute chart. We're trying to make it down to volume area high still. on the back test, but we're waiting for that 200 SMA to catch back up. We're trying to get down to here, but notice again, like on the 5 minute, we had a beautiful cross here, backside histogram, and the 1 minute just took its sweet time over and over and over and over again before it finally gave way. And this is what I mean by that on the MAC. So again, during consolidation here, you notice the MAC all the way back down to the zero line. This whole thing should have been down, 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 perfect trend. Look at the MAC. The MAC is straight down. RSI was breaking into lower channel, still lower channel, but knew it had to come back up, play the stop out game for the poor souls that keep their tiny little stops at tippy tops. And then it's going to panic down and start shitting the bed because the longs, right? That'd be a long trap for a novice trader. It'll go up and be like, oh, I got a breakout. I'm going to buy it. And then he gets cooked up there. And a short will get stopped out on paper hands for whatever reason. I'm not sure. But you wait for a hold of a hard open close. And then, yeah, that's it. But right now we're up 400 across the board. We're up $2,500 this morning, so it's not really it's not a bad green at all. We'll wait till we get at least gap number one. We got about 16 minutes, 17 minutes until data. So again, we're trying to get out of this prior to the data. We always stop at the 100 EMA a little bit here, travel back and forth, might just get a cook down, get our extension. But yeah, it's one of those things where we might hit data, unfortunately. So yeah, let's watch the final play out here. See if we can't get down to at least this gap fill right here, 58 prior to data, about 17 minutes till. We don't want to be stuck in the old data scab, so not too bad, but I don't want to be too greedy. I mean, Friday 2K green is still pretty awesome, so maybe we cut out, we'll see. We'll see if we get any more gnarly trends, even if we do get a snap of the 100 EMA, not if, it's when. And we got another 2 points to the downside. That's it's almost $600. That'd be pretty close to our target. So we'll see what this slip provides us here with. Nice and easy. Yeah, RSI is real low again, so we might have to wait through another little 5-minute form function. It should really start peeling to the downside here, but we don't have any volume either on profiles here. So once this is lost right here on the right-hand side, this box right here where there's nothing going on is a straight shot to this guy. And that's where you're going to get that target lined up exactly with the gap in the volume profile as well at 49.58 and some change there. So we have 36 contracts total. So we'll type in 36 contracts so we know what we're doing here. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go for the second gap fill pre-data. I think we're just going to go for the first one. Even though we should get all, we will get all of these fills, but it's just going to take its sweet time. So we'll clip this recording if we don't speed up here in the next 2-3 minutes, and we'll speed it up to the fill, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, jumping back on the record here as we're slowly talking through this trade. So we should melt the 100 EMA. We should get an extension on the RSI. We should get these gaps. And again, I'm only looking for gap maybe 2 down here at the very best prior to the data release. And that's going to be one massive if because of how kind of awkward everything is right here. But yeah, I think volume area high is good. We got 4958.5. I got my 4958.75 order out there, and this should come up right to about 900 something again. That's that 30% rule. So we should make about just under, we had 6 accounts at 900 again. So just under that $6,000 mark again. Same setup as yesterday. No different in the live trades here. So yeah, as you can see, same old 6 contracts, same old little walk down, limit orders out for the fill, and then 666 should be the easy target. So I mean, I could cancel this order and really get 666, and the big takeaway from that is to where you see the 666 breakout right here. 666 SMA is right here in the purple for me. It never came back down right here for a back test. It shied is what we call it. So when something breaks over a level, comes back down, did not tag it, and goes, you know, for an extension, then you short it, and it comes back down to the primo level that it did a shy on twice. That's a really good way to target with moving averages as well, because we have no actual algo tags here. So we got another one. We're coming down here. I don't want to make over that $930 some mark. Want to well, we're not YOLOing anything. I mean, Apex, we do all this live, and they're not ever going to penalize me for being a pro trader, but or regular retail, not pro, novice trader. I don't trade for anybody else but myself. But yeah, should be getting really close to that 900 something, and we should scoot just about 6K off this one. We actually might move this down to the gap fill, to like right here. It'll scoot in there. I don't know if that's too much or too little. I don't know. We could just exit out whatever. Yeah, we'll just do an exit all.
Order filled.
And there's your fill. So $937.50 across the board again. Another 6K trade, another gaps fill on the 1 minute. Again, like I said, I wanted to get in before data and get her done. So there's the gap fill. Look for fill number 2 and for number 3. This will panic down, but I can only make $930 a day off the 30% rule. So thanks for tuning in. Another 6K.